Hey, happy day. So I recently found myself in a situation where I was literally the butt of the joke in a situation, and I was rather triggered by it. I found it quite hurtful, and it left me wounded. My inner child wounds were, and conditioning and patterning seriously came into play, and my sense of feeling unworthy and unloved and unvalued um, really were matters that was dealing with on an emotional, spiritual level. And the irony of the situation, or the paradox more, is that the people who I was in an environment with who created that situation to trigger me are not even people that, when I look upon them, they are very ego based and status based and aesthetic based, and they desire money and sex, and it's very opposite to the way I'm living life as a spiritual gypsy, a consciousness warrior, and a bringer of light and love. Um, so, what is interesting about that is, as I've been listening to people around me, and those who have been confiding in me, many people are experiencing deep emos. It's very normal in this ascension process of consciousness, when we are breaking out of our old conditionings and patterns. It feels unusual. People are putting stricter boundaries into place. People are stepping up for themselves more. And in doing so, we are changing our situations and our relationships. So there's a lot of loss involved, and this is very hurtful. It's a literal stab to the heart. Um, and so, in these times of dark night of the soul and transformation and transmutation, spoiler alert, everything will be all right. There is a silver lining, and that silver lining indicates that there is a huge, big sun shining on a great, big, beautiful golden dawn. So, today I'm really trying to inspire and uplift from a very compassionate and understanding place of where you're maybe at. And I'd like to share some tools and tips and resources on how I deal with these emos and not get dragged down by them. Um, and the first would be to understand why we are triggered, because this is addressing that inner child. And we need to learn a little compassion for ourselves, for our flawsome and our awesome. And by accepting our flaws, we naturally transcend them and are able to harness them and use them to the best of our ability. Our weaknesses are our strengths, and our strengths are our weaknesses. And when it comes to love and feeling unworthy and undervalued, there's a little trick that I do, because I live somewhere I don't have family close by, um, and I've often, I'm an only child. I don't have brothers or sisters to turn to. I don't have parents to turn to, and I don't have a partner in my life that I share. So it's very easy to feel disconnected and lonely. However, the way to feel all oneness is to stop and remember all those people who do love you. They might not be around you right now here in the physical, but energetically they're there. So you can envelop yourself layer by layer in each person who you know loves you. And there are definitely people who love you. If you have children or extended family or friends, think about your life. There are people you might have met for an hour, who you felt a deep connection to, and there are other people who you've known your whole life. So as you think of them, wrap yourself in the love of each of those people, and rather than focusing on the love of those that you don't have and wish to have, or how people are not loving you. That's called limerence. It's a fantasy way of expecting people to love us the way we love them, and expect them to be something that we wish them to be when they're not. So, um, if you can wrap yourself in layers of love, and if you can understand how you need love, then you will understand how others need love. Because those who create the most hurt are often those who are hurting the most and need our love the most. And that is compassion and empathy, and being Christ-like is to transcend your own pain, ego, needs, and desires, and understand how others need to be loved through how you yourself need to be loved. One of the other tricks, and what I'm hearing a lot these days, is about finding stillness and centering. So, really finding a sanctum, a retreat from the world, from your daily life, from the craziness, remembering to breathe deeply and consciously. This creates space within your body, and that will create space in your life. So, finding time to be still, to listen to your inner mind, your inner knowing, your gut, really learning to sense yourself. We're also asked to show gratitude and express gratitude in thought, word, and deed, through our prayers, through our meditation, through our thinking. By giving thanks for our blessings, we are recognizing more of what we do want. Whereas when we focus on what we don't want, we attract more of what we don't want. So, saying thank you for all those moments, for every blessing that you value and it brings you enrichment and fulfillment. Give thanks every moment, every time, every thought, every action. Give thanks. That will drive you and what you want towards each other, like a magnet, like attracts like. And then the final thing is to find the gift in adversity. There is always some humor, and the humor in this university of life is quite wicked. And if you can find that wicked sense of humor, you will find the gift in adversity. And by finding the gift in adversity, you will be able to rise above and transcend. And one of the lessons I learned recently in that regard was about, perhaps sometimes it's not always about achieving your objectives and your outcomes and your desired goals, but what did you develop in your character, in your armor, in your personality? What did you learn? How did you develop your interpersonal life in that lesson or in that process? Because sometimes the goal or the outcome that you set is not actually your destination, but the journey that you had to take was what you needed to redirect you on the right course and prepare you for that, your actual true journey. And the only way you will know that is to go within and to listen and trust yourself and love yourself, and be very grateful for all the things about you, and that, especially your body, that work, your eyesight, your hearing, your ability to speak, to communicate, your ability to use your hands, to move about. Your functionality is very precious. Your health is your wealth. So really give thanks for that in as many ways as possible, because being healthy and well will lead you to a state of well-being, and thus a life that you desire and that will bring you joy and fulfillment. So namaste, in Lakesh. Happy day, and I hope you find some joy today.